How's it going, people? Welcome back to Watchcast. This week, I'm once again joined by Mr. KenKenReviews. Thank you for joining me today. How are you doing?
Reese, thanks for having me. I'm good. I'm good. Excited for the discussions.
Going to be a good one. As you've seen in the title, we are here, of course, to talk about Dune Part 2, the incredible movie that released last week. There's a whole heap to talk about here. There's a lot to get into. But just as we do every week, we're going to kick things off with this week's watches. Me and Ken are going to go over everything that we've seen in this past week and just give our ratings. Would you like to go first?
What have I seen? I've seen Iwaju on Disney Plus.
Oh, what's that like? I'm intrigued about that one.
It's an animation. It is based in Nigeria, Lagos, in a futuristic kind of Nigeria. And believe it or not, it's a child show that focuses around child kidnap and how to not be talking to strangers. And yeah, it's a really good show.
Definitely want to check it.
I give it like a solid seven. And give it a seven because the animation's really, really clean. I watched Avatar: The Last Airbender. I give that about a five. It was average. CGI was very shaky, but all they had to do was be better than what's his name, Shyamalan's version. Yeah, and it's a win. So yeah, they won.
I also watched that over the past couple of weeks.
Yeah,
I gave it about 6 overall. I
mm,
think
that sounds about right.
I really liked the first episode. I'll be honest.
Mm,
I didn't like much else. I really liked the kid that was cast as Aang. I loved his energy.
yeah, he
But
was good. I liked
a
him.
lot of the other castings is yeah,
Yeah, so Soka was annoying me so bad.
yeah. I think
He, he,
it's interesting for me because I have a really different look on the show to a lot of people.
mm.
Because I haven't seen the animated one.
I've seen bits of it. I haven't seen enough to like try and
Yeah.
compare it.
But I feel like when I've been talking to people that have seen the show, they hate this a lot more than me, and I didn't even love it that much.
Mm.
So it's quite an interesting one.
Fair enough. Yeah, not many people received it very well, so I'm wondering if it will get greenlit for season two. But
Yeah, it's interesting that one.
I guess it's based on the numbers.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, another thing I watched was the part two of Invincible, season two.
Oh yeah,
Uh, Absolutely. That show just keeps getting better and better
I need to
and
get
better.
caught up on that one.
Yeah, I won't say anymore because, yeah,
Yeah,
it's absolutely amazing. And the last
uh,
thing maybe I watched was, what was it? The Vince Staples show, which is on Netflix. I didn't like it. It was very confusing, but yeah. What's other things, but I can't remember. What about you?
I saw uh, Megamind versus the Doom Syndicate.
Ah, that's on my list.
I gave that a 1 out of 10.
Oh, that bad?
Um, I haven't seen an animated movie this bad in a long time.
Wait, is it
Um,
not Will Ferrell still?
no, none of the original cast has returned.
Oh, yeah, okay. Cancel
Um,
that.
DreamWorks didn't make the film.
Ah,
Another company made it and they released it. Um,
yeah,
and
I can skip that. Thanks for that.
it's made with like kids TV show animation technology.
Okay, okay.
I don't know if you saw when they made the Boss Baby movies into a TV show.
Yeah,
The
yeah. The
animation quality
animation dropped
dropped
in it.
significantly. This is
Yeah,
worse, and it's
I
like
get
another
that.
few years on. It has a similar problem with Madam Web of audio not syncing with the character's lips. In 2024, that's like the base level I
It's
have for a film.
bonkers. I don't know how they get approval to say, hey, yeah, we're ready to put this out now. Like,
Yeah,
this is crazy. But thanks for that. Now I know to skip it.
yeah. I'm not actually. No, I don't want to waste time talking about this. Um, I watched Paul Blart Mall Cop, both of them. I gave the
Mm.
first one a 4, the second one a 3. Um, I
I
was just
like them,
catching up
man.
with old friends. I just didn't love them. But they were just on in
I
the
like
background.
them, man. What's his name again?
Kevin James.
That's it. I like him. He cracks me up still.
On the topic of Kevin James, one of his good friends, Adam Sandler, I saw his new movie Spaceman on Netflix yesterday.
I still ain't seen it. I'm not hearing good things though.
I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
The way I've been describing it is subtle but serious. It's a very small scale, very I don't want to say basic, but it's a very simplistic story.
Mm.
But it's told in quite a nice way and a very compelling way. Um, I think where a lot of people lose it, and I lost it myself, the sort of middle act of this film is incredibly slow and it's quite a slog to get through.
Mm.
But the opening 20 minutes and the final 20 minutes are fantastic, and I think they really saved the film. Also,
Okay.
Paul Dano as a talking spider just works. So, yeah,
Yeah, I see the spider in the trailers. So.
I definitely give it a watch. It's not Sandler's best and it's not Netflix's best, but it's Netflix certainly have a lot worse.
Mm.
But
Fair,
yeah,
fair.
that's everything I've been watching through in the past few weeks.
Cool.
So I think it's time now we get on to the main event.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Dune Part Two, of course, probably the most anticipated movie of the year, and it lived up to all those expectations. I
Absolutely.
had to sit through the whole weekend of people posting their reviews and their reactions, and I didn't manage to see it until Monday. It was the only day I was available. My God, was this worth the wait?
Tell me, please, you watched it in IMAX or something.
Yeah, I went to the BFI IMAX in Waterloo in London, which is the UK's biggest screen, and yeah, it was
You
worth the
are a
wait.
wise man.
It was
You
worth
are
the
a
wait.
wise man.
I am in what I would consider a blessed situation, that my university is a 3-minute walk away from this cinema.
Oh, okay,
So
okay,
any film
okay.
that comes out that's worthy of the IMAX experience, best believe I'm there.
Yeah, this one is strictly IMAX. I've told everyone that saw it in a normal cinema screen that you haven't seen the film. You
Hmm.
haven't. You need to
So,
go and get the IMAX experience because where this film shines, it's not just visually, but especially in its audio. And you're not going to get that on a normal screen. You're just not.
see, I'm going again to watch it, hopefully at the end of the week, and it's
Mm,
either going to be at IMAX or it's going to be in a normal cinema because my
mm.
friends are booking the tickets, so I'm out of the question on this one, unfortunately.
Fair enough. But you've experienced the IMAX, so
But I
anything can go.
kind of want to go and do the normal one to see
Mm,
how much IMAX enhances it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I get that.
But
That would be a good experiment, actually.
if you're from the UK or if you're not from the UK, go to that cinema because
Mm.
it's an
It's a
incredible one.
must.
I don't know if you've been there yourself.
So
Yeah.
that,
Have you been there yourself?
yeah, yeah. I've been
Yeah.
IMAX. What did I see in IMAX? I saw the creator.
Oh, nice.
Saw the creator in there. I saw Endgame in there. Um, duh, 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 duh. I think one of the Mission Impossibles. I can't remember which one though.
I went there last year to watch Guardians of the Galaxy 3. That was a nice one to watch in there.
Oh, nice, nice. That was a
Yeah.
good choice.
I think now we just got to get straight into it. I don't know where to begin because
Yeah,
there's so much to cover. Um,
yeah anyway, it's fine. Man.
I got, where do we begin? I mean, for me,
I can kick off and tell you now that one of the best scenes I've seen in cinema is the scene with Paul waiting for the sandworm to
yes,
approach him.
yes.
The way that was shot from behind and he's strolling from left to right. Oh
Mhm.
my. One of the best pieces of cinematography. And
Incredible.
again, IMAX is needed because you can hear the grains of sand
Yeah.
just lashing like, oh, amazing.
Yeah, it's just blew me away, that scene.
Mm.
I mean, well, there wasn't a scene in this that didn't blow me away, if I'm completely honest.
Yeah, true,
I
true.
haven't, like, people throw hyperboles around all the time. This one is not
Mm.
hyperbole when I say I left the theatre speechless. Like,
I'm with you.
I don't know. I honestly didn't enjoy the first one as much as most,
I'm
but the
with you.
trailer for this one got me hyped, and it didn't let me
Mm.
down either.
At all, at all. From beginning to end, was it almost, I think, 2 hours, 44 minutes or something like that?
Yeah,
You
so
don't
almost
feel it.
3 hours.
Yeah, you don't feel it at all.
Yeah, it's so perfectly paced. The story
Mm.
is so perfectly told. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, and this
Um,
story is just as much a Paul story as it is a Zendaya story. So I like the way they managed all of that. Like there was enough screen time
yeah, it's
and
balanced so nicely.
development for everybody to get
Yeah,
their shine, so to speak.
100%. I mean, when you talk about great scenes in this, watching Paul versus I've forgotten his name.
Aston Butler.
Yeah, Fade Rother, is that it?
Yeah, Faye Rudd or something like that. Something like that.
Fade Rother,
He was
something
my
like that.
MVP. He was
Yeah,
he was my favorite character in the whole
yeah,
film.
yeah, yeah, yeah. People have been sleeping on Austin Butler for too long, and now it's time for him
Mm.
to get that appreciation he deserves.
Yeah, no,
But
definitely.
but their fight sequence, when there's no music, it's just their fight.
Yeah,
That bit peak.
that is audio cinema. That is
Yeah,
Dolby, whatever you want to call it. I think like
Dolby Madness.
absolutely. Mm. And you can hear
Yeah,
the oh,
it's fantastic.
absolutely brilliant.
There's very few movies where you sit there and they genuinely give you goosebumps. But that
Mm.
scene, I was kind of like checking my arms. I was like, oh shit, it's kind of got me, you know.
Nah, it was brilliant, man. Absolutely wicked.
That whole final sequence blew me away.
Mm.
Like
Did you
when,
find yourself like kind of like um thinking the film's gonna end here, and then it kept going, and you think it's gonna end here, then it kept going, and it
yeah,
just kept going and going and going because
hmm
of the way the first one ended.
yeah,
I thought, yeah, there's gonna be some abrupt cliffhanger and then cut off, but they
yeah.
just kept extending it, and then it ended at a perfect spot. It
Could
was
you
like, yeah,
imagine if it ended with when Fade Rother stabs Paul? Credits. You got to wait like 4 years to find out if he's
yeah,
alive.
it would
Obviously,
be
people that read the books will probably
that
know
would
what
be
goes on.
outrage in that cinema.
Can you imagine? That'd be mental.
Outrage.
I feel like cliffhangers are lost a lot now in films.
Yeah, they don't land very well nowadays. It's
I can't
very
remember the last like genuine time I was like, I can't believe you ended that there.
mm,
I mean, I remember one from last year, but I'm not saying it's an amazing cliffhanger. But the only one I remember from last year was Fast X. You
okay.
literally
Yeah.
see Vin Diesel and his poor child on the verge of death, and then in credits.
Yeah, that was a strange one. The thing with cliffhangers now, because they're not done very well, they
Mm,
more leave people disappointed than
yeah,
excited for the next one.
I think the last successful one was probably Across the Spider Verse.
Yes, yes, 100%. Because that, even though it was a cliffhanger, you could feel it. You could feel the film wrapping up, and it was
Yeah,
done so well. And yeah, I
yeah.
think you're right. I think that was the last cliffhanger.
There's threads to continue it, but
Mm,
enough has been closed off to leave the book there for the time being.
100%, hundred
I
percent.
found out, I think it was like last week, that Gwen sequence at the end was added like I think 5 or 6 weeks before the film was released.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Okay,
so
okay,
like one of the
okay.
most perfect moments in that film was like a afterthought, which
Yeah, that's crazy.
sums up how good that movie is and how good that
Mm,
creative team is. But
wicked film.
speaking of fantastic creative teams, everyone that worked on Dune, the highest levels of praise.
Absolutely. From costumes to setting
Yeah,
to everything was just well pieced together. And what's his name? Denny. Can't remember his name, but I know it's
Denis
Denny.
Villeneuve.
He has cemented his place in history
Yeah, he
to
has a
let
true
people know.
connection,
Yeah.
and his natural ability to bring stories like this to the big screen
Mm,
and the impact they have time after time is it's nothing. I said this in my review. It's nothing short of monumental what he manages to
mm,
achieve. But I actually
absolutely.
have a question.
Mm,
Do you think um, this film has been so successful because of how many bad films we have at the moment?
mm. I had the same thought. Um, hmm. So let's give it some more context. If this film was released alongside Barbenheimer, would it
Mm,
still shine? And my answer to that is yes.
yes.
Um, just the production of all of it. First of all, it's a different genre to those other two.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, because last year we'll probably say Oppenheimer and Barbie were the best things that came out of last year. So it wasn't like a year full of great content.
I'd say one
So
of
it would
those.
have definitely still shined. Second?
I'd say one of those was the best thing to come out last year.
Yeah, okay, yeah, fair enough. So it would have definitely still shined.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I don't think just because it was a weak year, it takes away from the majestic production here. No.
Yeah, because I think what Oppenheimer does great, Dune also does great, but there
Mm,
is things that each of them do better that make them
yeah,
stand out completely on their own.
yeah, exactly that.
I feel like Oppenheimer wasn't exactly reliant on the visual spectacle because you've got scenes that are just in a courtroom or in a small meeting room
Mm,
for that final act. But
yeah,
Dune flips that completely on its head, and it's all pretty much spectacle. It's all these
yeah,
vast
100%.
landscapes and open spaces,
Mm,
and also shooting all of those on location in like I think they shot mostly in Abu Dhabi. It
yeah, Abu
shows,
Dhabi and Jordan.
yeah,
Yeah.
because
And I heard through the grapevine that Denis was a monster on set.
mm,
Because everything was shot in natural light. So certain scenes needed to be filmed at certain points in the day, and
yeah,
you had to get it right. Otherwise, you have to
hmm
wait till the next day.
yeah,
Like, yeah, he put his heart and soul into this
yeah. I mean, also a huge respect to Stellan Skarsgård, who went through the 8 hours of makeup.
one.
Because I think I saw an interview clip and he was saying like everyone else like just came in and had some dots put on their face, and he was like, "No, I want to do this. Put me in the makeup chair." And I was like, "That is big respect."
Yeah, nah, he's wicked. That whole family,
Yeah,
yeah, they're doing well, man.
yeah, they are. They're gonna blow up cinema this year.
Mm,
I've seen
definitely.
seen two trailers for Bill's movies this year, and
Yeah, and they just announced The Crow as well.
yeah,
Released images for that.
what's
Is
that? Is
that
it?
due this year?
I think so.
Oh,
Maybe late
I
this year
thought
or early.
maybe next year.
Let's have a quick Google. But I saw the trailer for is it Boy Kills World that he's in?
Yeah,
That looks
yeah,
like a
that
heap of
looks wicked.
fun. Crow
He's
release.
mute in that as well, isn't it? He doesn't speak or something like that.
Yeah, I think
You can
so.
just hear his thoughts or something like that.
Yeah.
Mm.
The Crow set for 2024. Yeah,
2020, okay, okay.
7th of June. So not far off at all, really. Couple of
The
months.
Crow,
Yeah.
7th of June.
Hmm.
Wow. Okay.
Initial release 7th of June.
Wow. Okay, okay, okay. I thought there
June
would be a trailer out by now.
probably coming in a couple of weeks. We
Mm.
still hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. June this year is shaping up to be a big month.
Yeah, I can feel film studios going back into the booth and doing major edits, because to follow that up, yeah, because
Yeah.
I said it before as well that LucasArts, that a new bar's been set.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't keep up to this level of cinematography, audio design, production, just forget about it. Because those last three Star Wars films, the only thing holding up Star Wars today is The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian and maybe the animations, The Bad Batch, and all of
There's
that.
Chuck Andor in there as well. That show
Yeah.
is phenomenal.
But movie wise, they need to step it up because, yeah, Dune has made a huge statement.
I think I'd say there's the trilogy for me that are carrying Star Wars in the Disney era, which was The Mandalorian, Andor, and Rogue One.
Mm.
Other than those,
Yeah. Yeah.
all it's been with Star Wars is like, oh, we're doing this project. Oh shit, fans are disappointed again. Let's release this one and disappoint them some more.
Exactly that, man.
Especially Obi-Wan Kenobi. That show can do one.
Yeah, no. And they're trying to do another season, and it's like, no, you don't need to
Yeah,
stop.
no. Yeah, just like we like Obi-Wan Kenobi, we like Anakin, but no more slander of those characters, please. We'll just keep what we've
Yeah,
got. That show is an abomination, but
definitely.
yeah. I'll tell you what, one thing I do want to talk about, Stilgar. He was funny, man.
Yeah, he was a comic relief, and
That was something
his
that I felt
timing was
the
good.
first one too. Just
Yeah,
that
yeah.
little bit of comedy.
Mm. Because
But
of
just
the tone of the film, he was needed for that kind of to
yeah,
balance it out.
yeah.
Me get the crowd lighthearted a bit before we get back into the serious stuff.
hmm
So his addition was a very, very good
Yeah.
choice.
And something which a lot of, I don't want to say blockbusters because I wouldn't really consider Dune a blockbuster, um, is that they rely too heavily on comedy now,
Mm.
especially like the
Yeah,
Marvel movies and like
mm.
franchise movies. It's just like
Yeah, I get you.
comedy.
Mm.
Very
I know
rarely
what
do
you mean.
you see the serious and the comedy balanced, and
Mm.
this was perfect. Yeah,
Perfectly balanced.
it's just anything he did as it was written. I don't know. There's like
He's
certain
so humble. He's so
yeah.
humble.
If you don't like Stilgar in this film, you got issues.
Yeah,
Bro is
100%.
lovable,
At
fantastic.
one point, I thought they were going to kill him off, but
Yeah, so did I.
I was happy to see he's still there.
How did you feel about um, the return of Josh Brolin's character? I've completely forgotten his name.
I can't remember his name as well. I liked it.
McBurney.
What I didn't like was his climatic scene with Batista. I thought that could have been fleshed out. It could have been an actual
Yeah.
fight, not just a quick stab and that's it.
hmm
That I don't think that gave his character justice. I think he deserved a lot more. But I think both characters deserved a lot more than just
Yeah,
a walk up and a stab.
yeah,
But otherwise, yeah, it's good to see him back.
yeah. Because I think that was going to be my main point. I'm happy to see him return,
Hmm.
but I think the explanation of his survival and the scene with Batista was very rushed.
Hmm.
It was kind of just like, oh yeah, I survived. Bothered?
Yeah.
Like there wasn't. I don't know. It didn't feel like it went deep enough. That was kind of like my only thing that I didn't enjoy.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
when I saw that he was back, I was kind of like, oh, I want to see like the story behind this.
Yeah. I get
I
that.
mean,
I get that.
hats off to Denny for not just doing the somehow Palpatine returned. At least gave a bit of an explanation, but
Yeah, he gave a bit of an
yeah, I think
explanation. Yeah.
a little bit more fleshing that out, like you said. It was
Mm.
a key moment of the first movie, so it would make sense to continue
Yeah.
with one. Yeah, I think
Definitely.
in my notes that was kind of like the only real negative I had. But even then, it's not a negative because
Yeah, I don't think it's like a
it's not like the
big
movie
enough
cut.
stake to take away from the film. I
Yeah,
feel if they brought Momoa back, yeah, we would need a full blown explanation,
yeah, like
like a whole
flashback.
segment of the film to explain
Yeah, I got a question for you.
it.
Do you think this is better than the first one?
1,000%.
Yeah. Okay.
1,000%. It improved in every aspect of the first one.
Mhm.
So you know what's happening a lot now? A lot of people wrote off the first one um, because they couldn't recognize that this is just a build up. This is a setup
Yeah.
to something greater. I think they went into that first film thinking we're gonna get all out Star Wars blasting, all of that.
Yeah.
We got some of that, but that wasn't the premise of the film.
No, not at all.
And the ending of that should have told you that with the worm surfing and all of that. And
Mhm.
then the way this film literally starts exactly where the last one ended should tell you you need to watch this as a pair. You
Yeah.
can't just go and watch Dune 2, otherwise, yeah. You need to watch it as a pair to get a full understanding, to watch a boy become a man, become a prince, become a king.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. Because when I watched the first one, I didn't actually know that they were splitting the first book between two films.
Mm.
I didn't realize that's what was happening. So when it ended, I was a bit like disappointed. But obviously now knowing that, it completely makes
Mm.
sense. And now that
Yeah,
you've got
100%. I was disappointed with that ending as well, but after seeing the second one, I'm glad it
yeah,
stopped where it did.
because now you've got the two bookends, everything from that first film pretty much has a payoff,
Mm.
and it's fantastic, a beautiful payoff. Um,
Definitely.
and this is something I always talk about on the podcast. Is I love the concept of bookends.
Mm.
Everything that begins has an end, but there's always got to be something that's left unclosed that can be pushed through into the future.
Yeah, exactly that. I get that.
I don't think any good conclusion answers every question,
Mm.
because then I would argue it's not a great conclusion.
Yeah, I
Because I
get
think
that. I get that.
the element of mystery and something that all movie fans love is theorizing and
Mm.
predicting and guessing. Um, so it's a fun thing to leave a few things unclosed and open that we can play out in our minds, even if we know that they've said this is the final movie, this is the final season. We can still pretend in our minds that something's gone.
Yeah, and drive conversation and discussions, isn't it? You
Yeah,
know, it's the way to do it.
yeah. What
Who
did you
would you
think?
say was your standout performer? Because
That's a
there's a
good
lot.
question.
Yeah.
There's two in my mind, but I feel like there's some honourable mentions as well.
Mm.
I'd say my two standouts are quite easily Timothy Chalamet and Austin Butler.
Okay.
And then I'd say honourable mention would have to be Zendaya.
Mm.
And I'm trying to think. I feel like there's someone I'm completely missing. Do you know what? We'll give it to Javier Bardem
Mm.
because I didn't go into it expecting to love his character as much as I did.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
I'm
he was
surprised. I
definitely
think
a
he
good choice.
deserves the respect.
Mm. For me, it was definitely Austin Butler at number one,
Hmm.
and then Rebecca Ferguson.
Oh yes, sorry.
Mm.
That's what I
She
mean
was
when I say I'm completely forgetting
terrifying.
something. Yeah, she was fantastic.
Yeah. She really nailed
I don't
her
think I've
role.
seen her do a performance that good ever.
Mm.
And that's not me saying she's a bad actress at all, but this
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like
of
to
course.
a new level.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
she
this
was fantastic.
potentially Oscars potentially with that one. I'd say.
You reckon it could? You reckon it could stretch that far?
I think so.
'Cause that's a long way away, man.
I don't know. The first one got a few nominations, didn't it?
I can't remember when it was released though, because
Yeah.
it won't be eligible for this Oscars, will it?
No, next one.
Yeah, and that's
I
quite a
could
way away, man. We
see it
don't
get
know what else is going to be hitting this year.
no, but I would like to see her get some praise for this performance.
Oh yeah, definitely. It will definitely get some praise. I just don't know how much.
I'm just
But
trying to think
yeah,
about what we've got coming out the rest of this year. And I don't know.
yeah, not much to be honest. All I can think of is Deadpool, and
I've got
that's not going to be
the only
Oscar
two like
discussion as well.
Oscars worthy films in my head are Nosferatu and Megalopolis.
Is Nosferatu this year?
Yeah, right at the end of the year, I think, like December.
Mm,
So I'm
okay.
concerned that that will have the same problems that the Iron Claw faced last year.
Oh, okay, okay, okay,
It
okay, okay.
released so late, we got no respect.
Yeah, yeah.
Because obviously Robert Eggers' last film, Northman, got tons of Oscar buzz.
That was a good film. I like that film.
Fantastic. And another appearance from the Skarsgård.
Mm. And that
Yeah.
family is working, man.
I reckon Megalopolis could surprise a lot of people too.
What's that? What's that about?
That is Francis Ford Coppola's new movie.
Okay, 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 okay.
So
I don't
no
know
studios
if I've
picked it
seen it.
up. He funded it completely himself.
Okay, what's it called?
Megalopolis. It's
Megalopolis.
surprising
Okay.
considering this is the guy that made like the Godfather movies and Apocalypse Now,
Mm,
and studios aren't picking up his movies. That seems crazy to me.
yeah, that's nuts. I'm gonna add that to my list now
Yeah,
and
but
do
no,
some
I would
research.
definitely like to see these performances picked up in award season. But obviously, like you said, it's a bit too early to judge right now
Mm.
because the only films that we have to compare it to so far this year aren't exactly
Madam
amazing.
Web.
Dakota Johnson, lead actress, Oscar on the way.
So far this year, only two films that should be in discussions or possibly in discussions is Dune Part Two and maybe Bob Marley.
Yeah,
I can't think of anything else.
I could see Kingsley or Lupita getting a nomination,
Mm.
but I think even that could be questionable.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's only been like two films that I've enjoyed this year and would probably rewatch, and that is obviously Dune Part Two, and I had an absolute blast with The Beekeeper. I don't know if
I
you've
still
seen
ain't
that one.
seen that. That's on my list. I still ain't
I gave that
seen
one an
that.
8 out of 10. I probably like that one a lot more than most, but
That good,
I've
yeah?
missed, I've missed like a basic like classic action movie. We haven't
Mm,
had one in just like so long. I think movies try to be so clever.
mm.
Well, a key word being
Yeah,
try,
I get it.
because a lot is tried now in cinema and a lot fails. Um, but this one is, yeah, it's simple but effective.
Mm.
It's a very simple premise, but the way it plays out is just really fun.
Yeah, I need to watch that ASAP, bro.
Yeah, and any good bit of Jason Statham, just like
Oh yeah,
couple guys up,
he's
it
still going. I'm pretty sure he's in his probably 60s, maybe.
got to be getting onto that now. He's been doing film
Yeah,
for
late
forever.
50s probably because
Yeah,
he's been around for a minute. Huh?
yeah. I tell you what, one thing we haven't spoke about for Doom, Hans Zimmer's score.
Mm. But Hans Zimmer's Hans Zimmer.
Yeah, I mean you don't. Yeah,
Like I've never heard a score where it's not good. So like you kind of know what you're getting.
yeah, but it's still
Um,
fantastic score.
yeah, no, absolutely brilliant. Man. It was so fitting.
Yeah,
Like it really fit what you were seeing, and yeah, enhanced it as well.
yeah. I really
Yeah,
want to get out and watch one of the like Hans Zimmer live shows.
the concerts, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I've heard
just
some good things. Man.
I need to get out and watch. I really wanted to go to the Spider-Verse one as well, but unfortunately that didn't come anywhere near the UK.
Yeah, well, that was with was it Metro Boomin?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like
I think if that came here, it'd definitely be on that.
yeah. What did you think about Anya Taylor-Joy's like secret role?
Mm. Yeah, so seeing that character cast already told me that we're going Dune Messiah route.
Yeah,
Have you read the books?
I have not read the books, but I know that like Messiah is next.
Yeah, I haven't read the books, but yeah, it's I've had motivation to do some research and so forth, and seeing that she's cast excites me because we haven't got any green lit to say a third installment's coming. We
Yeah,
know Denis is writing, but we don't
yeah,
know if the studios are going to back it. But based off the success of this film, which
yeah.
is ongoing, I'm pretty sure it'll be greenlit. But Anya, I think it's fitting. But then at the same time as well, yeah, the story could go anywhere because maybe is she the actual chosen one?
Mm,
Like
yeah.
the world is so huge and vast because one, we've only been on Arrakis. We ain't been anywhere else.
Mm,
Two, there are 157 houses in this universe. We've only
yeah,
spoken about six or seven. Um, Three, it looks like they're splitting up. Zendaya's staying on Arrakis. Um, Paul's going up to face the houses. So where would the focus of the film like? There's just so much going on, and I love
yeah.
it. I absolutely love it.
Because I'd like it if, obviously, as you said, neither of us have read the books, so we
Mm.
don't know 100% where this is going. But I like it when you have an adaptation like this and they don't stay 100% true to the source material, but they do something with it so clever that
Yeah.
it blows everyone away. And I feel like
Mm.
if Denny can do something like that, I think it'll be fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's a way that you can do an adaptation in your own right and make it yours, but also take heavy inspiration from the source. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think if it turned out that she was the real chosen one, that could
That
be
could be a huge
be one
twist.
of the
Yeah.
best twists in cinema.
Mm.
What did you
Because
think about the
Paul,
whole like
they've
talking to
built
the
this
child?
whole cult fan base for Paul, and then to
Yeah,
switch it would be that'd be
yeah.
crazy.
What did you think about the whole like talking to the baby sequences?
Yeah, I thought that was cool. I liked
Yeah.
it. In the first one, they did a lot of the psychic
Mm,
talk, and then in this one, it was kind of missing. Um,
yeah.
and then you realize she's using it with the baby, and then I also liked it at the end when she used it to talk to the other um, Reverend Mother to
Mother.
say,
Yeah.
"Hey, you picked the
Yeah.
wrong side," and I thought that was
Yeah.
grease. I thought that was wicked. They were having like a back and forth, but in the minds. I thought that was
Yeah. Brilliant.
fantastic. What did
I
you
thought.
think of the twist of Paul and what he did to Zendaya's character?
Yeah, I really liked it
Mm.
because it was completely unexpected to me, and I think um, not reading the books makes watching it nicer.
Mm.
I
I
don't know if
agree.
that's in the books.
Mm.
I don't know, but if it's not, then that very much excites me for the next one and what he's going to do in
Yeah,
the third book.
yeah.
But even if it is, what a fantastic twist!
Mm.
Yeah,
I felt so much pressure in that scene because I just felt for Zendaya. Like,
yeah,
oof,
yeah.
that's crazy.
Well,
And
how
what
did
did you
you?
think of Christopher Walken's character?
I liked it. I did. Um,
Mm.
I feel like maybe he was a bit underutilized.
Mm.
I guess
I
if
get
he's
him.
supposed to be like the emperor, he
Mm.
felt a bit like pushed to the side.
Yeah,
I don't know. That was
I
just
get
kind of
him.
my thought. He wasn't obviously
But
like
again,
wasn't like a key villain in this one.
mm,
He might be in the next one again. We don't know.
that's
Um,
the thing that I'm starting to learn from Denis. That look, everything is done with precision.
yeah,
he could have taken a sidestep of this character, but then the next one will be more prominent. Like you never know with this guy now because he's proven his stance.
Yeah, because also I know he said that when he pitched it to Florence Pugh, he said, "Your role in this one won't be big,
I
so
saw that.
get ready for the next one."
Yeah, I saw that. I
And
saw
I mean,
that.
we saw that set up very much in those
Mm,
final sequences.
yeah, because Zendaya was like in like a total of like 30 minutes in the first one. All
Yeah,
her scenes adds up to about 20, 30 minutes, and then in
yeah,
this one, she's fully in it. So yeah,
yeah. Because
just
I
gotta
found that pretty
trust the
weird because they
game.
really marketed her for the first one.
Mm, mm,
But
they
yeah,
really did.
I think sometimes that's brilliant though,
Mm.
unless it's in the case of the last movie we spoke about here, which was Argyle. Henry Cavill's in this,
Yeah,
John Cena's in this, Dua Lipa's in this. They're in it for 30 seconds, but they're in it.
yeah, nah,
It's
you don't want
fantastic.
that again.
A month apart, we've had like the most fantastic twists and the shittiest twists in a month. It's
Mm.
amazing.
And that's the beauty of cinema, man. That's the beauty of movies. Like,
Yeah,
if you go either way, either way.
I can't remember. What was the last time you walked out of the cinema feeling how you felt after this film?
Ugh. Just off the top of my head, it has to be Endgame.
Yeah,
There's probably something else, but Endgame, yeah.
I'd say for me it was probably um, Avatar 2.
Oh, that was good, but I wasn't like super wild. I think the gaps in between those films was really taking the edge off for me,
Yeah.
like the excitement kind of
I
thing.
think I
So
saw that one in the IMAX as well in 3D. So that
yeah,
was
I saw
like,
that now. So
I was like, wow.
I'm hoping the next one isn't too long to keep the excitement alive. Because what
Yeah,
was that, 20 years or something like that in between?
it came out in 2008 and then it was 2022, no, 2009. So what's that? 13 years.
13, yeah, it's,
And then we've
it's too
got
long for a
the next
sequel, man.
one is next Christmas.
Okay, so I think because I wasn't too excited for this, I'll probably be more excited for the next one because
Because it was
I just
originally
need it
going
to
to
keep
come out.
going. Man.
It was originally going to come out in Christmas this year, but then we had the writers and actors strike, so they pushed it back.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
It was going to be
Yeah,
competing
hopefully.
with Sonic 3, so I think that would have been a deadly day at the cinema.
Mm, mm.
You've heard of Barbie?
What are you? What are you? What are your predictions, or what do you want to happen in this franchise next?
Brilliant question that I should have prepped for. In all honesty, if I'm going completely 100% honest, I have no idea what to expect
Mm,
because I had so many thoughts and theories go into this one,
yeah, yeah.
and like none of them happened, but only because everything was done levels above what I can think of in my head,
I get that.
and everything was so perfect, so nuanced. It was, yeah, it's hard to put
Mm,
a prediction on something that's this consistently well written.
yeah, I'm with you. I am exactly the same. I totally agree with everything you just said. Only thing I want is for them to bring back Austin Butler. I
Yeah,
don't know. I haven't read the books. I don't know if there's some resurrection stuff that can happen, but that guy needs to come back.
yeah. And I think after
Definitely.
the reaction to his performance, I think they'll try find a way.
Because his contrast to Paul is just perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It's just perfect. You got this superhero savior to this sadistic bunk. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just it's a good pairing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, do you know what? This just reminded me of something. The arena, the shot of that from above is one of the nicest shots I've ever seen.
What the Coliseum scene you mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
the black and white. Yeah, I get you.
I'm studying architecture at university, so
Okay,
All the
okay.
scenes of like the buildings and the landscapes, I was just
Ah,
notebook inspiration. Um, so yeah, and I'm potentially thinking about if I get my degree, going into set design. So all of that stuff is just like take
okay,
notes,
okay.
take notes, take notes.
Yeah, of course, definitely, definitely. Dune 2 is one where you could definitely get some good notes
There's a
because,
shot is of the Harkonnens. It's just after he gives Faye Rother the I don't even know what it was called. He gives him like Batista's character's position
oh
for the
yeah,
war, and the shot of like all the army in that street, and you've got those buildings behind them.
oh okay, yeah,
That's
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, nah. You do well in because from when you're noticing stuff like that, you definitely do well in stage design.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I've wanted to do for a long time.
Mm, you've
Yeah.
got an eye for it.
Speaking of like things blow my mind, I think we touched on it earlier, but the costumes in this are fantastic.
Absolutely brilliant. Just yeah,
Like a
from the
lot of
Harkonnens to the Fremen to the Emperor's lot.
yeah,
Yeah, I
and
loved it.
also the ones that will go unnoticed, I think, will be Rebecca Ferguson's in that final
Mm,
scene, and also
yeah.
some of Florence Pugh's costumes, like that
Yes.
the
Yes.
metal headpiece that she wears with like the dangling nut. That
The
is,
chain.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's probably got some special name for it, and I'm just calling it metal
Mm.
helmet. But
No, it looked wicked.
nah, yeah,
Like you could see the distinction between the houses, and I
yeah,
really liked that. Like it was almost like uniformed off. I think Game of Thrones tried to do that, but then during the latter seasons, it got a bit lazy where everyone just looked the same kind of thing. But with
right.
this one, the colors are like in your face, and you know, okay, he's from that house, kind of thing.
There's a
So I
very
liked it.
clear distinction, and it
Mm.
works very well. Definitely. Have you been practicing your sand dance and since watching
Yeah, that's
it?
exactly how I walked out of the cinema. Had to be careful, you know.
Watch your step.
Just so
I've got another question actually.
go for it.
Do you think this franchise will become something like what Lord of the Rings has become, like this sacred piece of cinema that everyone wants to watch?
I think this franchise will surpass Star Wars.
Definitely.
If Star Wars don't get themselves together and stop this Kelly Ray, whatever storyline that is that they're trying to push, Dune will take over. Because, first of all, Star Wars got its inspiration from Dune.
Yeah.
Dune was way before Star Wars. And for whatever reason, they put that on the back burner. And yeah, but the trajectory this film or these movies have done with just two pieces of media, if
Yeah.
they go into television now, video games, merchandise, and so forth, cinema wise, definitely Lord of the Rings level, but they can also take over Star Wars if they're not careful.
And do you think if the third movie is as successful as the last two, do you see this up in the conversation for the greatest trilogy of all time?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. My worry around this is how do you do better than that?
Yeah.
How can you do something better than part two?
Hmm.
Like where do you go next with that? Because that is like yeah, he set his own bar, and then now we need to see if
You can surpass
he
it.
can yeah,
Yeah.
he's gonna have to because yeah, anything less than that, yeah, it's a failure, man.
Yeah, because that's the problem. Once you've set that out, That's the new expectation.
Yeah.
It's what fans need.
It happened with Nolan films, The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
That bar was so high with The Dark Knight that Dark Knight Rises just couldn't keep up.
Followed that, we had Dark Knight Rises, and then was it Dunkirk next, or was it Tenet next?
Dunkirk, I think.
Dunkirk, then Tenet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, you have the Dark Knight, and then what have been considered to be probably Nolan's three least well-received films.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, then he came back with Oppenheimer with a big bang, but
Yeah,
we
he set another bar, now he needs to keep up with it, kind of thing.
Yeah. I saw he said he wanted to do a horror film.
Is it?
Yeah.
Mm.
A Nolan horror could go crazy.
Yeah, it could go bonkers.
Yeah. Where would you like? Is there any franchise or books that you would like to see Denny take an adaptation of?
Oh, boom, boom, boom. Gargoyles.
Ooh, what's that?
I feel like you know about gargoyles.
No.
Oh yeah, this is way before your time. Google it or something at some point. It was a Disney show. They've already announced a live action TV series for it, but but I think a movie for Denny to do, if he was to pick that up, I think he'll do it justice.
That could be quite
So
interesting.
Gargoyles was about these quote unquote monsters that turn to stone during the day but come to life at night.
I feel like that sentence alone, you set me up with enough to say that Denny can do that well.
He will absolutely kill it. And then they're around during medieval times, but then they're then boxed up and packed to, like, the castle's boxed up and moved into the modern day. Kind of like, it's brilliant. Even the TV show, the animated show, you could still watch now. It's still hands up.
I'm gonna make a note of that now.
Yeah, he will do justice to that. What do you think? What do you want him to pick up?
There's a whole heap of like franchises and things that I'd love to see his take on. I would love to see a Planet of the Apes film from Denny. Because those films are already like visually great. They got great spectacle, but I'd love to see what he could bring to that to enhance it. Because I don't think I did really enjoy Blade Runner 2049. I know a lot of people have their issues with it, but I think he definitely brought an enhancement to that franchise. Although I know he said he probably wouldn't try taking on someone's universe again. That is definitely something I'd like to see him take on. I'm trying to think what else there is. There's probably plenty of franchises that people can comment. So if you can think of anything, make sure to comment them down below. Yeah. I think anything that he did, I'd 100% welcome.
Yeah.
I don't
he's got my full backing and trust right now.
I know where I wouldn't want him to go.
Where?
I don't think I want to see him take on any superhero stuff.
Yeah.
Not because he doesn't deserve that. I think he's better than that.
I agree. I feel like the superhero space is very limited. You're like in a closed box because, yes, you can step away from the source material, but you can't go too far.
Yeah.
And that's what the issue is. That leaves them a bit too limited. And I need Danny to run free, man. I need him to spread his wings to do what he does.
The other problem with those superhero things, you often end up with those tight contracts of multi-years.
Yeah, it's
fully restricts them.
Yeah, that's why I say Gargoyles. Gargoyles was just an animated show. It's not tied to any book or comic or anything like that. So he really has free reign to like do whatever he wants with it. That's all. Yeah, it would work for me.
Yeah, it needs to be something that if he's going to adapt something next, instead of going for like an original story, something that we haven't seen done too many times before, and something that really calls out to him as a story. Because I think there's a lot with every director. There's a lot that works for them, and there's a lot that probably wouldn't work for them. I mean, a lot of them can make almost anything work, but sometimes it's just not the right director for. And I think
he's too talented.
Yeah, and it's almost like that quote that Denzel said a few years back of some directors work better for certain movies because they have the culture of that. I remember he was talking to a reviewer, which I can't remember their name, but I think was completely out of line in saying this. I don't know what the movie was, but they said, why did this movie need a black director? And I just thought that was completely out of pocket for them to even say. But he said, it's not colour, it's culture. What the director...
I remember that quote, actually.
Yeah, because I think it was about... He said, Martin Scorsese directed Goodfellas. Steven Spielberg did Schindler's List. Martin Scorsese could have directed Schindler's List. Steven Spielberg could have done Goodfellas. But the cultural differences wouldn't be the same.
Yeah.
And that's where the movie would fail. So I think directors sit in that thing that's right for them. They can definitely try other things that maybe doesn't immediately call to them. But I think at certain times where certain movies need to be given to certain directors. And I think he needs to find those movies that call to him and are right for him.
I agree.
Because he's getting fairly old himself now. Must be.
He's stepping into that space.
Yeah.
Well, I got a question for you. How do you feel they handled the religion/faith aspects of the film?
I think they did it quite well. Because they put it in there, but they did it in a way which felt incredibly respectful to those who are a part of those faiths, part of those beliefs. And they didn't do it to a point where it's overdone or it would be deemed unnecessary. It was only included because it adds to and builds to the story and the world. And I think that's perfect. And I can see that becoming a huge part of the next one. But I think it's been sort of slowly drip fed into these first two to really lay out the groundwork for the third one.
Yeah. Very well said. I like that. Yeah, I think it was really well done. They made sure not to cross over any boundaries. They stayed within a limited space. They edited out some things where you can't fully say, hey, that's Islam or that's Christianity. They really made sure they stayed within their own zone, and it worked very well.
It's done in an incredibly respectful way, and that has to be completely appreciated. Would you say there's anything in this that you wanted that you didn't get? Be that a very tiny, tiny thing?
Yeah, it would be the Brolin and Batista fight. Because straight away, that's marketing material to say Thanos versus Drax. Like, they could have really utilized that, but apart from that, I wanted to see more. You see the fight scenes where the Fremen are attacking the Harkonnen, or like the desert fights. I feel like the way they were shot was like quickly to brush past it. I'd have wanted to see a lot more.
I think the other thing with those is there was a lot of, obviously it's shot in a desert, so it can't be helped, but there was a lot of sand flying around. That a lot of sequences were lost. There's that scene that zooms in on Zendaya, and she's like fighting a couple soldiers, and it focuses on her back, and she turns around to the camera. But there's a massive like burst of sound that comes in from the left, so you're
Yeah.
unaware what character it is until the final seconds, and
Mm.
then once she's turned around, the scene's gone,
Yeah.
completely
Exactly
lost.
that. Exactly that.
So I'd say that's like my only thing.
Mm. Yeah, those are my only two things.
I think my only
Otherwise,
other one is I would have liked to have seen maybe a bit more from Batista. He was a big part of the first
he
one.
really took a sidestep in this one.
Yeah. And I hugely respect him because I think out of all the WWE to acting actors, he's certainly the best.
Mm.
I mean, Cena
Definitely.
is starting to move up there, but I don't think he's picking the right projects, which Dave seems to be doing incredibly
I
well.
don't know, man. I like Cena, and I think Cena's coming up. I think he's found his niche. I think he should stay in the comedy space. I
Mm-hmm.
don't see him as an action man. I don't.
No,
I think he should stay in the comedy and drama space.
that's why he works
And I think
with.
over time he could really like at least surpass The Rock.
I think he's already, in my eyes.
I don't think he has because he hasn't done enough work just yet. Because if you look at their catalogs, it's nowhere near The Rock's. But I think he has the potential to definitely take him for The Rock's. I'm not sure about Batista. Batista is the best one out of the lot,
Yeah.
out of the trio. But yeah, Cena's definitely on his way. Give him some time. He's
I
cooking.
think, like what you said with the comedy, I think that's why he suits his role of Peacemaker so well, because it comes under action, but it's heavily a comedy show in its own right,
Mm.
and that's why it works so well and why
Yeah.
he's so perfect for it.
Mm.
Yeah, but
He's got this new film coming out as well, Ricky Stanicky,
I
which
saw
looks
that.
good.
Yeah, is that the one with Zac Efron?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely want to be having a watch of that one.
Mm.
100%. Anything else from Dune that we perhaps haven't gone over?
Everyone just needs to go and watch it in IMAX.
Yeah.
You need to come back and drop a comment here and let us know what you think.
Mm-hmm.
Timothy, if Warner Brothers are going to utilize him and try and push him into James Gunn's new universe, if it's not Batman Beyond, leave him alone.
Mm-hmm. I highly
I
respect.
don't want to see him as Robin. I don't want to see him as a nobody else. What was it? Is it something McGinnis?
Oh, I can't remember the name.
It's McGinnis. Something
Sorry,
McGinnis.
McGinnis.
Terry McGinnis.
Terry McGinnis.
Yeah. He needs to be that, otherwise just leave him alone. Let him worm surf.
Yeah. I think it's actors like Timothy and Austin that I would rather they didn't go into these superhero projects
Mm.
unless it's like 100% the right role for them.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I think there's so much more they can do outside of that I would much rather watch them in.
Yeah.
It's like in the same regard, I really like Coleman Domingo and all of his work. And it's now been spoken about that he's the front runner to take over Kang from Jonathan Majors.
He's a good show. He's a good show.
Definitely would like to see that. And he says that he's up for it. But the only thing I fear is that if he goes into this, are we going to lose these fantastic performances that he's been given? Not that he wouldn't give a fantastic performance as Kang, but I'd like to see him in a lot of other projects. Especially, he's also another one who's like in his 50s now. So he's starting to run out of that sort of, I don't know what the word is. This is the time that he needs to be picking the right projects. And I don't know if Kang is the right one for him right now.
Yeah,
whereas I guess someone like
Marvel as well tend to lock you in for like 10 picture deals and all of that as well.
Yeah.
So.
Especially if you're playing their like key villain. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
I think that's everything for Dune.
Sweet.
I think one thing to just touch on before we go, we've got the Oscars coming up in a couple of days. do you have any predictions? Is there anything you want to see win? Any unexpected picks that you want to see win?
Oppenheimer, I think, is going to clean up,
Hmm.
but I feel like costume design, set design, Barbie needs to be in there.
Yeah, I think heavily in the discussion.
I think that's where the two deviate.
I didn't necessarily like Barbie as a film, but one can appreciate those sets and the
Mm,
fact that Margot Robbie had 40 costumes
mm,
fully deserved that award.
yeah,
If the
definitely.
lead character has 40 costumes and they all look great, that's
Mm,
deserving of an Oscar.
definitely.
100%.
Definitely. Yeah, those are my predictions. What about you?
I think again, Oppenheimer's going to come in and go crazy. He's going to take as many as it possibly can.
Mm,
Do I think it could end up being the movie to win the most? I don't think so. Only because there's a couple of categories where I think there's something that is clearly better, like costume
mm,
design, set design. But would I be mad if it won those awards? Certainly not.
mm.
Um, but yeah, there's other ones in those categories I'd like to see win. One that I
For me,
definitely,
animation has to go to Spider Man.
yeah,
I'm hoping not.
I was incredibly disappointed to see it not win the BAFTA
Mm.
because that went to The Boy and the Heron
What
instead.
one instead?
The Boy and the Heron.
Okay. I haven't seen that, but no.
I
I'm
haven't
pretty
seen that
sure it's
either.
not better than Spider Man.
No, Spider-Verse is such a fantastic achievement, and the amount of
Mm,
like different animation styles within one movie,
mm.
something we haven't seen done a lot, if ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another shout out I'd like to give is I would really like to see Society of the Snow win international film.
Mm. I still ain't seen that. I need to watch that.
That one, kind of similar to Dune. After watching it, I actually just had to sit down for like 20 minutes and just think about it.
Mm.
I haven't
That
done
good,
it.
yeah?
It made me reevaluate everything I have and how much I should appreciate it more than I do.
Mm.
Just seeing
When a
how,
film can do that to you,
yeah,
that's a win.
I fully just sat with my thoughts for a good 15, 20 minutes after watching it and was just blown away.
Mm.
It's incredibly impactful and definitely deserves an award to respect that and commend that.
No, that's wicked.
You going to be staying up to watch the Oscars?
I'm not sure, you know.
Is it like,
Not sure. I might be working, so I might have it on. But yeah,
for us here in the UK, it's 11 p.m. till 2 a.m., so it's not the most
yeah.
convenient time.
Nah, it's not.
But hopefully, some good things win. There's always going to be that
Mm,
one that makes people angry, so we look forward to what that's going to end up being.
exactly that.
But with that being said, I think we're going to wrap up this week's episode of Watchcast. Thank you so much, Ken, for coming on once again. It's
Thank
been
you
an
for having
absolute
me.
pleasure. Make
Mm,
sure to go check out Dune Part 2 in cinemas on the biggest IMAX screen that you can find. All of KenKen's socials will be down below in the descriptions. Go follow, go like his content, go interact with it, do everything. Go watch his videos, like up the reviews. You know the drill. But with that
appreciate
being
it.
said, we'll catch you next week. Thanks for listening. See you later.
See you later.